There are a few hours left until the anniversary of the full-scale invasion, so today we're looking in all directions at the complexity of the situation. This is What About Ukraine channel, day 365, February 23, 2023. Failure near Wuhledar. The Russian occupiers refuse to advance. This is reported by the General Staff. In addition, the armed forces of Ukraine repelled about 90 Russian attacks last day on Kupensky, Limansky, Bakhmutsky, and Avdiivsky directions. On the border with Belarus, there are regular exercises near the borders again. The Russian military is forever learning, and our military has built a dense and extinguished defense, having replaced all approaches to the main roads. The situation is under control, and any attempt to break through, breach the border, will be immediately stopped. Chernihiv and Sumy Oblast. Among other things, information about these regions of Ukraine is spreading through the networks. The enemy from time to time tries to create activity here as well. Sends DRGs, which are easily handled by Ukrainian border guards, aimlessly fires from artillery located in the border regions of Russia. Fighting continues in the Kupiansk direction, but various sources report that even Granikivka, which is allegedly captured, is still a place of struggle between Ukrainian defenders and occupiers. One of today's missile attack was on administrative building in Dvorichna settlement. Kremenna. Heavy fighting continues here in the forest of the main city. Defense forces managed to destroy a lot of equipment and artillery. Bakhmut direction. Part or all of Berehivka is captured by the enemy. The situation is being clarified. Battles are going on in Yahidne. On the eastern bank, the enemy is slowly but pushing our forces towards the river, and the question of withdrawing completely beyond the river and continuing to hold the enemy there is constantly arising. In the south of the city, the situation is stable. The defense forces are in order. Again and again, we remind everyone in the world that the situation in Bakhmut is extremely difficult. And although the defense forces are trying to contain the enemy's forces in a heroic struggle, there are still many times more. From the north, the situation in general causes certain fears. The enemy has reached a height of 200 meters and is squeezing our troops out of Berehivka, if he has not already done so. For understanding, everything is lower to the track from Gromov. So enemy artillery, will reach any targets from these heights. The Avdiivka direction. Pressure from Novobakhmutivka on our position continues. Every other part of this direction at the same positions. Zaporizhia and Tavrisky direction or Kherson direction is unchanged. More than 40 shelling by Russian MLRS in Kherson region. Having never reached Odessa, the so-called country with the second army in the world, stopped near Mykolaiv, is trying to shake up the situation around Moldova. The Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation announced that Ukraine was preparing a provocation in Transnistria, And although this information was denied in Moldova, we all know what happens when the Kiev regime is accused of something in Russia. Here it is possible to say in advance that if the President of Ukraine has repeatedly said Ukraine is ready to help Moldova at any moment, from the Ukrainian side, this issue will be easier to resolve. Thank God, the leadership of the country of Moldova, unlike the Ministry of Defense of Russia, has sobriety and balance, so they immediately rejected the false statements. Among other things, today there were statements by the leaders of the countries regarding additional Leopard tanks that will soon be received by the armed forces of Ukraine. Regarding all fears regarding February 24th, already this year, we can unequivocally assure everyone that the next day will not bring anything new to what has already been happening for many, many months in a row. Ukraine has already seen massive shelling of civilians, bombing of cities, and missile attacks on critical infrastructure. Kiev in 3 days, Severodonetsk in a week, Bakhmut is about to happen, Russia forever in Kherson, Russian world in Kharkiv region, and etc. etc. Already in this spring, good news awaits everyone who believes in and supports Ukraine. And in order to bring it closer, don't forget to write your comments, push like button, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned, stay safe. Glory to Ukraine. І слава Україні!